I remember watching a lot of MrBeast videos when I was young, thinking that he was genuinely a good guy trying to help others and make money from challenge videos and videos where he helps even more people. I used to watch all of his videos when they were coming out and always waiting for a new one. Well, that was more than 2 years ago. Now I'm disappointed to hear more and more allegations of MrBeast and his team, including Eva Chris Tyson, being a pedo. In Talkback's 404's latest video, he dives deep into some serious allegations about MrBeast. Talkback mentions that MrBeast's secret CEO has been harassing their team, pressing them about what Talkback knows.
Also, I know MrBeast's secret CEO has been practically like harassing my people on, hey, what's in part two? What does he know?
Likely due to the fear of explosive content that was or will be revealed in part 2 and 3 of Talkback's series on MrBeast. One of the points Talkback highlights is from MrBeast's 100 Boys vs 100 Girls video. Apparently, a cameraman made some of the girls uncomfortable by flirting with them. There was also some joking amongst the girls about Stockholm Syndrome. For those who don't know, Stockholm Syndrome is a psychological phenomenon where hostages develop a bond with their captors. Given how many of the girls were sleep deprived and affected by the paint fumes, their comments made some sense in the context. Talkback also interviewed Jake Weddle.
Now, when I was in school, I was actually almost failing my philosophy class, this is true, and then I started taking mushrooms. Yeah, I graduated to TA, so like, Jake, your homework's late again. I'd be like, time's an illusion.
An awesome guy who was on camera and behind the scenes of MrBeast videos back in 2019 and 2020. Jake was also part of a solitary confinement challenge that went horribly wrong, which is why that video never saw the light of day. He gives some shocking insight into what went down behind the scenes. According to Jake, there was a clear division between MrBeast's yes men and those he didn't favor. Jake found him on the latter side, which wasn't great for him. Despite being a strong character, he was hidden from the cameras partly because he had a side gig on Twitch that Jimmy wasn't too fond of, seeing it as a way out for Jake and potentially talk negatively about him. One of the stories Jake shared involving his car getting destroyed in a video where he had to fake his reaction for the camera. Also, MrBeast wanted Jake to call his mom to get even his mom reaction for the video.
And so that was the one and only time I had to, huh? My car? What? And on the fly, I saw him, because Marcus was in that video. So Marcus is calling his mom. Marcus genuinely had no idea. He genuinely had no idea. But so Marcus is calling his mom, and his mom's freaking out. And I'm like, oh no, they're going to call my mom next. So I had to text my mom, who had to beg to get the title very quickly. Now I'm texting my mom, I go, Mom, I'm about to call you about the meteor thing. You have no idea? Be surprised. And then I hit send, and then they go, call your mom now. And I call my mom and I tell her, and oh, she should have got the Oscar.
Jake had to quickly message his mom to inform her to be surprised.
Car has been destroyed.
Wait, what?
A meteor hit it.
Jacob, I'm on vacation. Do you understand?
MrBeast gave him $10,000 to buy a new car, could only afford what he called a mom's car. Jimmy questioned Jake later why he didn't buy something cooler.
Jimmy was like, why didn't you get a cooler car? I was like, I can't afford that, bro. Come on, what are you talking about?
Jake also worked as a writer at MrBeast's company alongside another older comic who was black and had a kid. Despite doing the same job, this guy was getting paid less. Jake, being a stand-up guy, tried to advocate for him to get better pay, but instead of resolving the issue, both Jake and his colleague were fired. Jake didn't seem to be upset about it, though, as he got severance check and was happy to leave. However, it is sad that his co-worker, who Jake was trying to help, got fired, which Jake seriously regrets.
I feel really guilty about the way this shook out. Yeah, I was talking to this other writer, like, it's fucked up, you know, that's how the pay is, and I want you to get paid more, you know, because you deserve to get paid more. You know, I don't have a kid. And he didn't want to rock the boat. He desperately didn't want to rock the boat. He's just, I like my job. I like, you know, because when you grow up with, you know, nothing, not to say that he did, but I know I did, you know. You get a little something, you don't want to lose it. So he didn't want to rock the boat. But he said, hey man, if that's how you feel, you know, like if that's like, I trust you. He stood with me. He went to that meeting with me. And I said my piece and he backed me up. And I said, I need X, Y, Z or I'm out of here. And they said, bet. And they gave me a severance check the next day. And they gave him a severance check the next day. And if I knew he was going to lose his job too, I wouldn't have done it. Me, I was over the moon. I was like, you're going to give me a check and I get to leave? You know, I don't get to deal with the yeah, how many Orbeez can I fit up my asshole every day? You know, and I get to go home and you're going to pay me to leave. I was over the moon. And he was devastated. He did not want. I said, he just wanted to be in the room, you know? And I really regret that. But, you know, me and him were really still tight. We're still good friends.
Talkback also touches on the infamous $10,000 every day you survive prison video, which was actually a redo of a failed first attempt with Jake.
He got a lot of media attention because everybody saw the premise and thought, what? You shouldn't do that. And people don't know that was the second attempt. The first attempt was on me.
He describes the experience as a borderline torture. The conditions were rough, the room had a fresh paint fumes, a smelly hot tub and noisy ice cream machine, and the lights were never turned off. Jake even mentioned that his friend told him it was a war crime to keep the lights on like that, keeping him sleep deprived.
And, I mean, they had just freshly painted the set. You could smell it, you know? Which, that's probably not good, you know, the smell of fresh paint in your surroundings for the next XYZ time. It looked good on the visual. It looks good on camera. You know, it's movie magic bullshit. It was a terrible facility. I mean, it was in one of the studios. They had to, like, get, like, a separate, like, tank for, you know, septic stuff. Yeah, there was a hot tub in it. Yeah, there was an ice cream machine. Like, things were cool and funny on paper. But when you think about stuff, a hot tub that's not connected to a filtration system, give it 3 days, it's gonna stink. You know, there's not a hot water mechanism, so the hot tub was a lukewarm tub at best, which was a silly complaint, but the shower was always cold, and you're taking like a quick shower, and I had cameras 24/7 on me, and the ice cream machine, let's talk about that for a second. The ice cream machine has 2 modes, on, and off, reeking of smelly dairy, mildew, like, so I got to choose which sense was assaulted at a time. I couldn't have all of them good. So the little things started to build up, you know, there was like the bug thing wasn't like terrible, but it was a factor. And like at first it was fine, you know, and you're playing it up, like, cause you know, it's a video. And it got to a point where like, they weren't turning the lights off. You know, I asked them, I said, can we like have like nighttime hours? You know? And they said no, because it would fuck up the time-lapse shots. The time-lapse of what? Me sleeping? Or me not sleeping? I just wanted to turn the lights off. And I'm vocalizing to people, I wish the lights would turn off. And I go up to my friend, my good friend. And I go, they're not turning the lights off. He goes, what? That's a war crime. We're not allowed to do that to terrorists. Oh, good. 24 hours breaking the Geneva Convention, I guess, is what we're doing.
The challenges during the experiment were also brutal. Jimmy himself came in and questioned why Jake was sleeping, and when the staff mentioned Jake having trouble sleeping, Jimmy told them to wake him up for some challenges. The challenges including solving a Rubik's Cube, which Jake couldn't do because of his dyslexia, and running a marathon on a treadmill from midnight to 3 a.m. By the end, Jake's feet were covered in blisters. The on-site psychologist eventually checked on him and agreed that Jake couldn't continue.
Jimmy comes in and I'm asleep. I don't know what time it is. I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 or whatever. He's like, why is he sleeping? I don't know, because I can't sleep. And he comes in, he wakes me up. And he goes, ask me why I have 2 briefcases. And I'm like, why do you have 2 briefcases? And he goes, oh, because this one's for today, and this one's for the challenge. And I go, what's the challenge today? He goes, you're gonna run a marathon. You're gonna do the 22.6K, whatever it is. And you're gonna do it on that treadmill over there. The first challenge I did was a Rubik's Cube, and I'm dyslexic. I'm dumb. I don't know how to do a Rubik's Cube. So your first challenge Rubik's Cube. I was like, oh, I don't want to do it. I was like, on camera, I don't want to do it. He goes, just do it for the thing. Like, kid, Like, there was an element of, oh, Jake will do what we want because he's in-house. That's one of the reasons why they got me. Jake's, he's an inside guy, so he'll do whatever. We can push him a little extra hard because we know he's good. I couldn't say no to the treadmill thing. Yeah. So I people who run marathons train forever, and it's still hard. Again, writer. Do I look like I run? I don't run, let alone a marathon, let alone that training for it. So I was in a sunlightless,
Did you try to say no? Like, did you have a choice, or?
Based on the Rubik's Cube thing and based on all the other stuff, like there was so much pressure to just do it, just do the thing, And if I refuse, it's just, oh, that's the whole video. I guess the budget's, so much money up in flames because Jake said he wouldn't want to do the thing. And so I wanted to be a good sport, and I wanted to get the boost, and I wanted the cash, and so I started running at 12. I was able to take some breaks, and I asked him, how long do I have? He goes, until I get back. And I'm running until 3 a.m. All right, I got off the treadmill. Oh, the blisters I had on my feet were like, you wouldn't believe, just all over, just these big red. I couldn't walk. My muscles were like just the lactic acid. I got off the treadmill, and then the people that came in to like ice my feet, make sure I was good. Then that's when I was like, I'm done. I can't. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out. And that's when I get the psych in, and I talk to the psych about how I'm not well, and
That night, the staff and Jake's friend turned off the lights and finally let him sleep, but not before Jimmy tried to get Jake to say some scripted line saying how grateful Jake is that now he can pay off his student loans.
he said, Jimmy said, can you say to the camera how thankful you are that now you can pay back your student loans? You know how hard it was to do a take of that? And pretend to make it genuine?
Of course, there is a lot more to this story that I didn't cover here, so if you want to hear more, definitely go check out Jake Sweddle's channel and Talkbacks 404's videos. Links are in the description. Go show Jake some love, he's been through a lot.